What's going on, guys? James from Project Still Beating here. Today we're going to talk to you about my latest adventure race that I did. It was the very first one in the Unbridled series by 361 Adventures. It was at Greenbro Lake and we had a really great time and everything, and we're going to tell you all about it right now. Okay, like I said, this is the first of the Unbridled series from 361 Adventures, and it was held at Greenbro Lake State Park. This was a 6-hour race, so we didn't need nearly as much gear as I'm used to, or as I did for the last race, so this made my pack way more enjoyable. The Unbridled series is a 3-race series where your best 2 scores count for the finals. This was the 6-hour, and the next will be at Ken Lake, will be an 8-hour, and the last one, the Fig, will be the 12-hour. So let's go to the map for this race and continue our conversation. So, first thing is first. If you look toward the bottom right, you will see the letters S/F. That's the start and finish for the race. All the red lines are trails and the gray one are gravel roads. The little circles are checkpoints and the triangle is a TA, or transition area. This race, being a 6-hour, is not as stretched out as I was used to, and only had one TA that housed our bikes and boats. So you could go to any checkpoint by any way you wanted to, on foot, on bike, or by boat. And number 12, you could even swim. There was no other swimming allowed, but number 12 you was allowed to. You did have to return your boat back to the TA, and you did have to cross the finish line with your bike. There were 20 checkpoints, and each one was worth points, but you didn't have to get them all. But you do got to be back in the 6-hour time limit, or you'll start losing points. So I will take you along our journey. Now, yes, I said our journey. This was another first for me. I actually did this one with a team. This is my partner Mark. We ran a 2-man team. Anyway, we started on foot. We ran up the trail until it was time to start bushwhacking up the hill for checkpoint 17. We then got back on the trail and headed east to pick up checkpoints 13, and continued east until it was time to bushwhack our way to the TA, which is a checkpoint 2. We got there, stocked up on more water. I had stashed at the bikes, and we put our kayaks in the water and was off on the paddle. We then paddled, and we would beach our boat each time for the next 3 checkpoints, number 8, 9, and 18. From 18, we decided to bushwhack to 14, but this one got us. We wasted a little time on it and couldn't find it, so we moved on trekking to number 11. Now, when we left 11 on the way to 10, this is where my problems began. The trails were very muddy, and people had been riding horses, leaving big holes everywhere. And while we were going through one of the mud holes, my foot got caught in one of these holes, and my knee twisted and popped. I later found out it was dislocated. But you know me, Project Still Beating, I was still going on despite the pain. We got 10 and back down to 15, and then we headed back to the boats. When we got to the boats, we discovered it was taking me too long with the bum knee, so we were behind schedule, so I opted to paddle back to start the bike part. So we got back from the paddle after Mark ended up helping a fisherman who fell out of his boat get back into his boat. And we put the boats back at the TA and changed into our riding gear and was gone on the bikes. With limited time left to finish the race, we rode the trail toward checkpoint 5. And this is when I realized my knee was worse than I thought. I wasn't even enjoying the riding, which is one of my strong points. Every little hill climb was throbbing. We got to the checkpoint, and Mark, seeing the pain on my face, asked what I wanted to do. After considering the time till the race end, and not knowing how fast I would be able to go on, we decided to head back. So we finished the race on time, but with a lot fewer checkpoints than we wanted to. We finished 12th overall in our division. So I guess the next 2 in the series we will have to step it up. But it was definitely a lot of fun and a learning experience. I'd like to thank my partner Mark for being so good about my injury. I also would like to thank Dallas and Sean for another great race. The next one for 361 Adventures will be at Ken Lake, and it's going to be a night race. Oh boy, that's going to be an experience. If you like this video from Project Still Beating, click up here in the corner and watch another one. And while you're at it, click down here in the corner and subscribe. Make sure and follow us on all social media sites. And as always, thanks for sharing my adventure with me.